Here's today's clip on how to define irony.
But unlike her, I cannot be bought and I cannot be controlled. I have no interest in that. My only loyalty is to you, the people.
I'm sorry, but isn't this the same guy who did this while he was in office?
At least $7.8 million, the Democrats say, looking through accounting filings and other filings, did he receive from foreign powers. That includes 20 foreign governments. Now, when you break that down a little bit more, it's about Trump Tower and Trump hotels. Almost entirely, that's where this money went. And it's from 2017 to 2019.
And in case you're wondering, this is not the first time of him being a hypocrite.
But isn't it nice to have a president who doesn't need a teleprompter? Yes, Senator. These teleprompters are just gonzo, folks. They're gonzo.
They all said lock her up, and I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing. And then this happened to me. And so I may feel differently about it. I can't tell you. I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up.
Lock her up is right.
I didn't say lock her up.
For what she's done, they should lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up.
Crooked, you should lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up.
Lock up Hillary.
Do you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels? Then why did Michael Cohen make this if there was no truth or allegation?
You have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael.
Do you know where he got the money to make that payment?
No, I don't know.
Count 29, guilty. Count 30, guilty. Count 31, guilty. Count 32, guilty. Count 33 and 34, guilty. That is Donald J. Trump, defendant in New York versus Donald Trump, found guilty on all 34 felony counts.
And yet he insists he's the opposite of what the courts have said about him and what his ex-cabinet members have said about him. Get a load of this guy.
I tell the truth. I mean, all I can do is tell the truth. I am not a stupid person. Number one, I'm an honest person, so I wouldn't do it anyway. Pages of documents, tax returns, and everything else. And they have found nothing, which means I've proven to be one of the most honest and innocent people ever in our country. Larry knows that.
Honest, truth, and innocent. Are those the words that come to mind when you hear Donald Trump? No. The guy is a hypocrite. The guy is a liar. The guy just says it right there, bold-faced lies to his followers. And his followers have done a good job of wrapping themselves around and into a pretzel. Just excuse everything he says. Of course, those 34 charges that found him guilty in New York, those were all made up, right? The jurors were all somehow part of the George Soros justice system. It's all somehow a witch hunt. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't know the classified documents that he took to Mar-a-Lago, before he took them, he actually did some sort of mumbo jumbo magic thing where he was like, these are now unclassified. And then he took them. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, of course. He had a right to take those. And then when the FBI said, hey, can we get the classified documents back? And he said, no, that wasn't obstruction. That was just him, wanting to put the documents in his bathroom. He didn't do anything wrong. No, the E. Jean Carroll thing, the sexual assault, that thing. No, that was just, again, another jury that George Soros bought. And of course, everything is an excuse. There's a million excuses. Oh, yeah, of course, when he called up the Secretary of State in Georgia and he said, find me 11,000 votes, that was a perfect phone call. Everything's perfect. Nothing is ever wrong. And by the way, as you saw in the earlier clip, he doesn't need to be running. He could be at a beach somewhere with his feet up watching the waves come in. He's not power hungry. He's not a narcissist at all. He doesn't want people's money, even though, he does ask them to donate to him, and then he does take that money and use it for his legal battles. But, he doesn't need the money because he's richer than anybody. It's all so absurd. It's comical. We all see it. For some reason, his followers don't. If we want to be objective, let's be objective. Let's look at the most dangerous lie that he actually committed, which was the election lie, which was he said that he won. And that came about famously, I believe Rudy Giuliani, the night of the election, had said, you need to go up there and just say you won. Meanwhile, Rudy was drunk, he'd been drinking wine. Go say you won, we'll just run with it. And they ran with it. And now 4 years later, a lot of people in his constituency will argue that he won. There was cheating. And somehow, I don't know, millions of people voted that weren't supposed to vote. I have actual friends that I talk to who are supporters of his. I go, you really think 80-something million people voted for Biden? I will admit, I don't think everybody voted for Biden as much as a lot of people voted against Trump, because it had been 4 years of hell for a lot of people, and they were motivated, and it was one of the biggest voter turnouts ever. And we may even top that this year. So his lie led to a lot of stuff. His lie has led to a lot of Republicans now really believing this lie, having less trust in government, to the point where we've seen in Project 2025, they want to abolish a lot of the government agencies. He wants to weaponize the DOJ, and he keeps saying the DOJ has been weaponized against him. No, matter of fact, Merrick Garland moved slowly, a little too slowly, be honest with you. He committed so many crimes that he should have been prosecuted on right away. And it took a long time because I guess they were getting their ducks in a row before they brought it to him. But that's the danger of someone, because it's a joke when he gets up there and says, I'm honest, I'm true, I tell the truth, I'm innocent. He's been lying and guilty of lying since before he even was in office. You look at anybody in New York, there's a reason why New York hates him, is because they know what kind of a person he is. You look at anybody in his cabinet, there's a reason why a lot of them say the guy is a liar, he's dumb as a doorknob. His claim to being smart is that he has an uncle who taught at MIT. So somehow the uncle that taught at MIT has affected his intelligence. So it's funny until you have something like January 6th happen, where he gets together with a lot of dangerous people, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, your Roger Stones, your Steve Bannons, people that want to basically burn the country down and implement a dictator. And that's when it gets dangerous. And he got dangerous. And again, now they're denying that January 6th was a thing. Again, they do a lot of whataboutism. They do a lot of like, well, the people that stormed the Capitol. What about during the George Floyd protests, the people that took over in Portland and in Seattle and all that stuff? If anybody committed a crime and they burned a building, they should be prosecuted. Let's all agree to that. And so if you rush the Capitol, if you storm the Capitol, you should be prosecuted. And by the way, storming the Capitol is even a more serious crime than burning a building in Portland or in Seattle, which is a crime and should be prosecuted. But when you storm the Capitol and say you want to hang Mike Pence, them's is revolutionary and war words. Those are crimes of trying to overthrow a democratically elected president. Think about it. Until Donald Trump denied his loss, we hadn't had that, at least not in recent history. Most presidents, when they lose, they show up at the inauguration. That dude got in a plane and he took off, and the Republican Party had a chance to disavow him at that point. But they gave it about 3 or 4 days, and then they started kissing the ring, and here they find themselves again with a very, very unlikable candidate who also, by the way, wants to cancel democracy. So his lies, though funny at times, ridiculous at times, actually lead to a country that will move closer and closer to a dictatorship, like a Viktor Orban type dictatorship in Hungary. So if you're watching this video and you're considering who to vote for, I really want you to consider that it's democracy versus dictatorship. And I come from a country, Iran, that was not perfect before the 1979 revolution, but once the revolution happened and the Islamic Republic took over and the religious nutjobs took over, the country got very dark very fast. Women's rights were taken away, LGBTQ rights were taken away, and many other rights were taken away. And it's a darker place now because of that. And if you want, once again, look at Project 2025 now. His supporters are going to say, well, he disavowed Project 2025. The reason he's disavowing Project 2025 is because he's seen how bad it is for his campaign. But in reality, he's ready to do everything that they want to do, including taking away a woman's right to an abortion across the country. They want to get rid of IVF. They got a lot of religious-based ideas that they want to do. They want to instill a lot of loyalists into the federal government so they can get whatever they want done. So that means that if they have somebody that they don't like, they could call the DOJ, they could call the IRS and be like, hey, go investigate this guy, make this guy a living hell, his life a living hell. That could be a very dark place. Handmaid's Tale, it's coming. So you got to choose whether you're going to vote Trump, which is Handmaid's Tale, or Kamala Harris, which is hopefully a brighter future for all of us. I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. It's free. Watch it. Hit it now. Check it out. If you like it, tell your friends. If you don't, keep it to yourselves. Bye.